Does it still count as upcycling if it looks worse after? So I have this old bookcase that was left behind by the previous tenant. I think it's from IKEA. I want to paint it. Last year I painted this side of it. Probably can't see it. I think my plan for the other side is to do a similar pink color. I don't actually have that color pink anymore, so we're gonna have to do a little color matching. I have a lot of whites and I have other pinks. The last time I did this, I remembered that the acrylic paint does not stick very well to the smooth surface, so I'm gonna have to make a pink that matches this that I can reuse once the first layer is dry. So I'm gonna mix it in this mason jar. So I've got pink and white and we're gonna hope for the best. I feel like the pink that I used last time is almost sort of like salmony undertone, so I think I'm gonna add a bit of yellow to this. I have the empty paint tube from last time, so I guess this will be much easier to match the wet paint to the wet paint because it always kind of dries a different color. I've done it. First coat is done and you might be thinking, hey, that doesn't look very good. And you would be right. It's a different day now and I finished the background on this. It took about 6 coats of paint to get a solid background color. I cleaned off the dust before I started painting so that I wouldn't have little pieces of dust mixed in with the paint. I didn't have a plan when I started painting this, but I sketched up an idea. So it's basically gonna be kind of like bows all around the contour of it, and then a fish cut in half with flowers coming out of it. These ideas do not really relate together, but they kind of fall on the themes that I often do in my work. Springtime, whimsical nonsense, death. So I'm gonna do the bows, I think all different colors to kind of match the butterflies on the other side of it. And that's our next steps. My suspicion is that this is going to be one of those projects where it looks really bad until it looks good at the very end, so trust the process. My plan for these bows is to have 2 colors in each one, kind of like this drawing that I did. Obviously the base color for the bows isn't done yet, it's just taking a while because I do need to do like 2 coats of paint on each of these bows just because it's still a little bit slippery from where the base of whatever this material is poking through. I've been watching a lot of beige flannel videos on YouTube. She does kind of like DIY upcycling home decor stuff and I really love her videos. I would love to link them down below, but because I am new to YouTube, I don't know how to do that. So beige flannel, check her out. This orange paint is working much better than any of the other paints, which makes absolutely no sense because I bought them all at the same time and they're all the same brand. And to think I was debating not even using the orange because I find it doesn't really go with the other colors, but maybe everything's gonna be orange now. The first layer of bows are done. Hello, it's a new day. So we left the trust the process phase and then decided to immediately re-enter it. I was getting impatient about doing something in the middle of this, so I started doing a very rough sketch of where the fish is gonna be. So this is the head, not a bullet, not a penis, and this is the fin part. I think I'm going to add another chunk of body right in the middle, and obviously these are not going to look like this in the end. And then I also started doing the secondary color on the bows, but I was getting bored, so that's why we went a little kooky crazy on the planning. So these are the bows. I'll show you up close. So I'm happy with that. I wish that it was done already because I finally have a nice sunny day where my makeup looks good and also the lighting is agreeing with me and my painting. So we might do a chaotic thumbnail. We'll see how it goes. I've been alternating between painting it upright versus painting it turned on the side like this because although this is somewhat easier to do it this way, it's not. Like I find when I'm doing the bottom part, it's easier to turn it on its side like this, but every time I turn it on the side, I am very concerned about the paint on the other side because I did not seal it at the time. So far it hasn't scratched off, but I think that is just me being very lucky. Another little issue I'm having with this side versus the other side is that there's like water damage or something here. So it's very splintery and it's kind of peeling up, whatever this vinyl material is. But I think that's okay because it's only on the bottom side. So when it's standing up, you don't really notice it, but I might try to like cut off these crusty bits or maybe get some sandpaper and try to smooth it out a little bit. There's definitely better paint that I could be using for this, but I didn't want to spend any money, so we're using what we have. The plan now is to add a middle piece to the fish because I feel like this is too much open space to do the flowers in. So I marked out on this piece of paper little marks to show the width that I did the other portions of the fish. So I'm gonna kind of line that up so that it's even all the way through. Cool, so that's our marker for the middle section, and then I'm just gonna connect these and add some fins to make it look more like an actual fish. Obviously that still looks pretty crazy, but I'm actually much happier with this now that there's going to be a third piece to the fish, and once we add the fins and like any level of detail, I think this will actually look pretty good. Not good yet, but definitely better. I filled in the dark green on the like cut open parts of the fish. I am almost done with the bows and I've started doing scales on the fish, which is gonna be kind of a painstaking long process. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna end up outlining them because I'm gonna do kind of like a green outline around the fish and like lines in the fins. So I might kind of outline each of the scales, but I think it will depend on if I mess it up. The fish and the bows are finally done. It has taken me about 2 full business days to do the scales on the fish, but I'm super happy with how they turned out. Now all that's left is to do the tulips. I've decided I'm doing tulips coming out of the cut open pieces of the fish, and then we'll be done for real. The end is in sight, and thank God, because I'm sick of painting this. Guess what? Ta-da! We're done! This took so much longer than I thought it was gonna take. I was getting real annoyed of working on this by the end of it, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think I do like the other side of it better. So I added some bubbles coming out of the fish's mouth because I felt like that spot up there was pretty empty and it needed something. I was gonna include painting the top of this in this video, but this took way too long. So we're gonna do that another time. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe